In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I manifested true love, my perfect relationship with my soulmate, so that you can too. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Lucie, and on this channel I share all kinds of things about personal development, spirituality, and how to become the best version of you. So this is a really important topic, a really tasty topic that we can get our teeth into today, because I know a lot of people are looking for love, looking to get into a good relationship, looking to get into the relationship. And so what I'm going to share with you, now that I have found that, I found that a few years ago, I've been in this really loving, beautiful relationship with my now fiance. We're now engaged to be married in a couple of years from now. So now that I'm in this relationship, I can actually look back. I can look back at what were the things that I did, what were the key steps that I can see in my timeline that I started to change about how I felt about myself, how I felt about relationships. There were a few things that I healed, that I changed in order to be able to then manifest this chance meeting in a foreign country with who turned out to be the love of my life. And I'm also going to share with you guys what I recommend that you avoid, like the certain times when I think you should avoid getting into a relationship as well. So to set the scene and give you guys a bit of a backstory, I moved from London to a tiny little town in Spain, which I'd never even heard of before, when I was 20 years old. The reason why I moved to Spain when I was 20 is because I was studying Spanish at university here in the UK, and part of the course was that I got to live for 1 year in Spain, and that was a huge part of what I was looking forward to when I started this course. You know, an opportunity to live in a foreign land, to live in another culture, obviously to gain the experience of speaking another language was a huge thing that I was very excited about. And I think also as a 20-year-old, I was really excited to have an opportunity to find some real independence, to, go somewhere on my own and, just have an adventure. I was so certain of what I wanted to get from that year abroad. And when I was like the 6 months before leading up to going to Spain, I was actually in another relationship with someone else who it was a nice relationship at the time. Looking back, not the right relationship for me, and I kind of always knew that because I was moving to Spain, I kind of always knew that it wasn't going to be a relationship that was going to last. It was fun at the time. I just had it in my mind that when I moved to Spain, I was going to break up with that person. And because I just wanted to be able to go to Spain, no strings attached. So I think this is a huge part to share about my journey, that I was at a point where I was like really not wanting to be tied down to anything or anyone or anywhere. And I really think that was a huge, it was a huge part of my vibration. And so I wasn't desperate. I wasn't, looking for validation in someone else. I just wanted to be completely free. So that was where my head was at. I moved to Spain, so excited about this opportunity to be on my own, in a new country, living by the beach. It was incredible. As much as it was incredible, I'm sure you can also imagine, it was pretty freaking scary. Age 20, living on my own, by the way, not moving into a house with housemates, not knowing anybody in this town, not knowing a soul. Everyone in the town was a stranger to me when I first moved there. So as exciting as that can sound, it was also pretty scary. You can kind of keep your mind busy during the daytime, but then at nighttime, when you're having to lock up your home and turn out all the lights and there's no one else in the house with you, and you go to bed on your own and you just sat there in the dark, in the silence with your thoughts, and you hearing noises in the house or hearing noises outside, it was a pretty scary time. And I do also remember in the early months of that time in Spain, I was incredibly lonely. I wouldn't say it was all sunshines and rainbows. There was a lot of like tears and loneliness and dark thoughts, questioning if I'd made the right decisions. You know, I think it's important to share all of that because the mind is always a little bit messy. There's always a few good thoughts, a few bad thoughts, sort of all mixed up together. But you know, the one thing that I'm so hugely grateful about the fact that I was in this foreign land on my own was that it forced me to have a real good look at my relationship with myself. Because I couldn't distract myself by being with friends, being with family, you know, a lot of those distractions were removed and it was just me, myself, and I. It was a beautiful opportunity for me to heal a lot that I didn't even realize I needed to heal. It was a great opportunity for me to pour into me. I think because I realized that because there was no one else who could make me laugh or cheer me up or give me a cuddle or any of this kind of thing, I had to pour into me. So if you're watching this right now and you're feeling lonely and you wish you had someone in your life, some significant other or more friends or whatever, I would actually say, what if you could look at your current situation as such a beautiful blessing, because this is one of those potentially rare opportunities in your life where you get to focus on pouring into you, not expecting anyone else to do so, and building up a best friendship with yourself. Yeah, not sort of like ignoring yourself, ignoring how you feel about yourself and just like being with these people and hanging out with those guys and hoping that these people like you and hoping that that person fancies you. Like none of that for a little while, for a couple of months. It was a good 2 months of total solitude apart from going to the school I was teaching at. Didn't really have anyone at the school who was my age because the kids were younger and most of the teachers were older. So even at a school full of people, I did also still feel quite isolated. And by the way, the previous year at university, I'd been living with 6 other people. So it was such a huge contrast for me to now be living on my own. So it was about 2 or 3 months of opportunity to grow up and to build a great friendship with myself. So the great benefit of not having anyone else to socialize with was that it meant that all of my free time was my time. As soon as I got back from teaching in the school, I could decide whatever I wanted to do with my evenings. I tried to learn how to skateboard, that didn't go too well, but I also taught myself how to DJ, that went really well. I'm actually now a DJ. I taught myself, I did loads of painting and loads of playing the piano. There was a piano in the school, so whenever I had some free time, instead of hanging out with anyone, I just went into this room with a piano and just played the piano for an hour, you know. I really enjoyed those times, and looking back, they were so precious. I took my camera to the beach, I would take photos of the sunset on the beach. Maybe if you're not in a blessed situation to be able to walk to a beach and take photos, you can still look into doing things that are creative, doing things that your inner child used to love to do that maybe you've forgotten about and maybe you haven't done in a long time. And I think with all of that creativity, it allowed me to really be in a sort of flow state for a lot of the time. Another thing that I remember doing is that I wrote down how I wanted to be treated. I wrote down the kind of next level partner I wanted to have. I wrote down what my ideal relationship would look like, how the person would support me, as in support me for who I truly am, you know, not laugh at me for being different or weird, you know, not kind of be skeptical of my alternative ways, you know, just fully be open and passionate to learn more about the things that I'm into. And I also was quite specific on how I wanted that person to look as well. And then once I'd written down this, sort of brief of how I wanted to be treated, I realized that if I wanted to be treated that way, I had to treat myself that way. So that's what I started to practice. I would read this. I would remind myself that how you treat yourself is how the world, is how the universe will treat you. Okay? So that's a really, really important part of the process of manifesting love, is to get clear on how you want to be treated and then to treat yourself that way. How can you expect everyone else to treat you in some type of way if you don't treat yourself that way? So that's something to practice. So about 2 to 3 months into me living in Spain on my own, I had started to make some friends. And I remember going out one night to sing karaoke with one of my friends, and we were walking back home along the beach at about 4 or 5 a.m. And she wanted to go over and talk to some guy who she liked the look of. She knew him from somewhere. So I thought, okay, all right, whatever. So we went over, and so I was just stood next to her waiting for her to finish flirting with this guy. And so I started making conversation with this guy's friend who he was also with. So my friend was talking to her guy, and I ended up meeting Jamie, who it turned out became the most perfect match to me, and liked me at the same time that I liked him. I couldn't believe it. I'd never ever met someone who was so sweet and kind, but cool and funny and good looking, and was attracted to me. It was everything I ever wanted, and we've just got tighter and stronger and even better and more in love ever since. And guys, it exists. It does exist, and I really do put so much of it down to the fact that I poured so much into my own cup. I built up a really strong relationship with me, and I got really clear on how I wanted to be treated, and I started treating myself that way. And so, when I said at the beginning of this video that I was also going to talk about what to avoid, if you're watching this video because you're wanting to get into a relationship because you feel really crap about yourself, or because you don't believe that you're strong enough on your own, or because you're under pressure from your family, or because you feel peer pressure from your friends who are all in relationships, do not get into a relationship for any of those wrong reasons, okay? Or take all of that stuff that you're currently experiencing and turn it into the reason why you should start pouring into yourself, following the steps that I shared in this video about finding that desire to feel totally independent and free and complete. You see, this thing that people say where they don't believe they're going to be strong enough on their own. Of course you are. Of course you're capable of being strong enough on your own. And the only way that you can see if you are capable, or the only way that you can see that you are strong enough on your own, is by allowing yourself to experience that and finding the beauty and the peace and the quiet and the, unlimited possibilities of when all you need to take care of is yourself, not needing or not looking for validation in another person. As you can probably tell, the topic of filling yourself up with love, healing those wounds, loving and trusting yourself enough to a point where you can trust the process of manifesting a partner, you can trust the process of manifesting anything. It's so important, and something I'm so passionate about. So what I'm actually in the process of creating for you guys right now is a more in-depth, interactive process to help you to reprogram your mind through a series of fun exercises, deep meditations, and creating you a workbook as well, where you have space to pour out your feelings, to have breakthroughs, to have realizations, and realize how it is that you want to be treated so that you can start treating yourself that way. So if you'd like access to those meditations, exercises, and workbook, the link is in the description. I've set it at a very affordable price because I want to make sure that this information can be accessed by everyone. Obviously, I'm not giving it away for free because I believe it's incredibly valuable, and because I also know that when you do pay for something, it increases the odds of you actually sitting down and doing it. If it was just a free thing to download, you guys know, right? You wouldn't take it as seriously. So guys, go check it out. I'm sure you'll see that I've put it at a price that is, meant to make it accessible to all, to reprogram your mind towards loving yourself unconditionally and letting all of these things magnetize towards you. Comment below what part of this video resonated with you the most. Who are you going to share this video with to help them too? Give it a big thumbs up so that the YouTube algorithm knows that this is the kind of content you like. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring my bell so that you never miss one of my videos. Until next time, bye.